Coming up on today's San Francisco 49ers report, some wild trade buzz out there, and the San Francisco 49ers are in the thick of it. Could the Niners make a Davante Adams trade? He's unhappy, and an NFL insider linked the 49ers to an Adams trade. Now, why is Davante Adams unhappy? Back-to-back losses for the Las Vegas Raiders. He doesn't want to wait around until this team can compete once again. And here's what he had to say. I don't want to act like it's all crazy after that Week 3 loss in which they had a listless offensive performance against Pittsburgh. Jimmy Garoppolo, a few interceptions. He said it's Week 3, but I don't got time to wait around. It's not a personal thing. I mean, it is a personal thing, but it ain't just about me. It's not my mentality to take all season to try to figure it all out. To use these early games like this to establish an identity, and we're not doing things the right way to establish a winning culture early in the season, we got to do something to turn that around. And that's part of the praise that I've given Kyle Shanahan this year. 2022, 2021, they started off slow. Last year, 3-4. The year before that, 3-5. They had to play catch-up. That is not sustainable to have to do that every single year. And right now, Josh McDaniels, the head coach for Las Vegas, isn't hitting that panic button, and they're trying to feel out, find their identity right now. But you can't afford to do that year in, year out, especially this year in a very competitive division like the AFC West. And stop me if you've heard this before. The Las Vegas Raiders, ladies and gentlemen, are an absolute dumpster fire. You have Davante Adams saying, I don't want to wait around. We have to figure this thing out so that we can start winning some ball games. You have Chandler Jones going live on Twitter saying some of the most out-of-pocket and crazy things to the point where I hope his family is going out to see him, to check in, to see if he's okay because mentally it doesn't seem as such. We have the fan base. We have Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report here at Chat Sports, calling for Josh McDaniels to get fired after just 3 games. It's sweet to see that the Raiders are a dumpster fire once again because, of course, they're great rivals to San Francisco. Now, a reason we're talking about Adams on today's show is because Matt Lombardo, NFL insider, listed these 6 teams as potential destinations for Davante Adams. Scheme fit, need, available money, all of those contributing factors. You have the Dallas Cowboys, Cincinnati Bengals, San Francisco 49ers, Detroit Lions, Cleveland Browns, Green Bay Packers. There are other teams obviously on this list who have a bigger need for Adams than the San Francisco 49ers. In fact, I don't really think the Niners make a lot of sense. I love this wide receiver combination of Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. I think they complement each other really well. You put Adams on the field, their targets go down. It then becomes even harder to get George Kittle the football. There would be a lot of mismatches that you would have at your disposal if you're head coach Kyle Shanahan. And yes, San Francisco has $41+ million in cap space, which can be used now or rolled over. Davante Adams' contract details coming up here in a moment, but I think this is the play for the Niners. If they need to make a trade and a splash move, if an injury happens, if they have a glaring need, going into the trade deadline, they have the cap flexibility to absorb some of that money. But I think really ideally what this organization wants to do is to look ahead at some looming contract extensions because, again, that money can roll over to 2024. It can be used to absorb Nick Bosa's new deal, but really, these are the 3 ones that I'm focusing in on. Brandon Ayuk, due for a contract extension after this year. Basically, next offseason, it is basically the Nick Bosa contract situation, George Kittle, Fred Warner, Deebo Samuel, those situations all over again, on repeat. Talanoa Hufanga, next year going into 2024, will be entering the final year of his rookie deal. He was an all-pro safety in year 2. He doesn't have the luxury of a 5th-year option because he was not a first-round pick. He was drafted in the 5th round. And yes, we're looking down the road here, but Brock Purdy has 2 years on his rookie deal after this year. He's one of the most bargain plays in the NFL right now, making less than $1 million. But if he continues to play well, he continues to win games, you already know he's going to break the bank as well. Let's tee up this. If you love seeing the Raiders fail, you love seeing the Raiders dysfunction, I want you to type FLV down in the chat. They were never faithful to the Bay. They left multiple times. San Francisco, FTTB. always faithful to the Bay. Coming up next here on the show, if you're a real one, you'll hang out for the entire duration of the program. A look at the Davante Adams numbers. He's really special. What it would mean to take on his contract and how much. Also, should the Niners sign La'el Collins? He's been cleared. First, though, every single day, I start my day with AG1. Why is that? It's the tone setter. It's the table setter for the rest of my day. Because I know when I drink AG1, I'm able to check off all of the nutritional benefits that I need with one single scoop of AG1. And the benefits of daily use: promotes gut health, supports immunity, it boosts your focus and your energy. I go hard here at Chat Sports. I go hard outside of Chat Sports. With my training and my work schedule, I need to be able to continue to stay healthy. AG1 allows me to do that with one scoop, less than 1 gram of sugar, 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. You've probably heard of AG1 on programs like the Joe Rogan Experience and here under the Chat Sports umbrella. We have a great deal for all of our loyal viewers: 5 free travel packs and a year's supply of vitamin D with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/chatsports for that deal to apply. We're going to put that link in the comment section as well as in the description of this video. It's good for you, it tastes great, and it costs less than $3 per day on average per month. Get signed up, prioritize and optimize your health. Look good, feel good. You know that's the motto. As for Davante Adams, the last 4 years, 2 with the Packers, 2 with the Raiders, obviously. This is his second year in Las Vegas. He has been for a long time one of the most potent, one of the best, one of the most dominant wide receivers in the game. This year, he's off to a really good start, and he's been linking up with Jimmy Garoppolo a ton, averaging about 8 catches per game. So he has 25 so far this year, 322 yards, 3 touchdowns, average yards per catch of 12.9. 3 years before that, he has eclipsed or met 100 grabs in each of those seasons and a ton of yards, ranging between 1,300, 1,500 yards, and he is a touchdown machine. 18, 11, and 14 over the last 3 years heading into 2023. He is a little bit of an expensive player, but not as expensive this year as you might think. The Raiders, if they were to trade Davante Adams, would save $6.79 million ish with the trade. The Niners would owe him $6.5 million in 2023. What would the value be? What would the cost be? You look at the value below me. The cost, you kind of go back to the OG Davante Adams trade a few years ago and that move made with the Green Bay Packers. Packers received a 2022 first-round pick and a 2022 second-round pick. Adams wanted to go to the Raiders to team up with Derek Carr because they played college football together at Fresno State. It lasted 1 year. Now he's with Jimmy Garoppolo. Josh McDaniels seemingly is a fraud, and now he might want out of Las Vegas. Something to, of course, monitor. I don't think it's going to happen for the Niners, though. Let's round out this particular segment with this. Could the Niners sign La'el Collins? We know that offensive line is a little bit of an issue. We've talked about Collins here on the show before. He has reportedly passed a physical after his brutal knee injury last year when he was signed by Cincinnati and tore up multiple ligaments. The report is that he could sign with the team soon to find work. And for San Francisco, Colton McKivitz has not been stellar at right tackle. I think that La'el Collins is better as a guard as compared to tackle. And if you want him to play guard for the Niners, it's not like Spencer Burford has been terrific so far this year. McKivitz's numbers. He has rebounded a little bit from a rough go week 1 against TJ Watt when he gave up those 3 sacks. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 55.4, pass blocking grade of 61.2, run blocking grade of 47.8. That ain't good in a Kyle Shanahan run-heavy offense. 204 total snaps, 1 penalty, so that's good. He gave up those 3 sacks week 1, none in the last 2 games, so that is certainly progress. Only 2 quarterback hits and 6 quarterback pressures. If he continues to struggle or has another bad game like he did against Pittsburgh, maybe going into the NFL trade deadline, that is a move that San Francisco could make to shore up right tackle. Is it going to be La'el Collins? I'd bring him in for a workout to see how he's doing coming off that knee injury because he can play tackle, he can also play guard, and you're not having to pay him all that much money. With that, we ask you this. Are you still concerned about the Niners offensive line? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. As always, thanks for watching the show, and make sure you subscribe.